Alright, pro tip for you guys out there that are dealing with seized slider pins. You can't get them off, so you're gonna get the torch out and heat up the brake caliper bracket, but maybe it's after hours or you're working on your own stuff and you don't want to replace the rubbers. Don't torch the rubbers. You can take them off. They're rubber, they're flexible. So grab yourself a tool, something that's not sharp. Don't be using a pick, and get in there. Take your time. Free up the rubber without ripping it. Both sides. And then once you get it free, just work it over the pin. Now this one's already ripped, but if you're careful enough, it's totally doable. Also, something else that might help you is some silicone spray or some silicone based lube. It's gonna help get the rubber off there. Don't use anything petroleum based, that'll swell the rubber. Don't use any oils, anti-seize, nothing like that. Now, the reason that pin probably seized in the first place is because that boot was torn, and then moisture gets in there, and what happens? It rusts. That's how they seize. So, yeah, pro tip. If you're trying to save these things, take them off before you torch them. Alright, so another thing that I want to talk about too is when you're torching these things, there's two ways you can hold it in the vise. I see a lot of guys, and I've done it myself, that's the way I used to do it, is like this. And you'd clamp your bracket in there, and you can start torching it, right? But then, you build up enough heat in there, and you know what happens? This pin will fly out of here like a bullet, and hit the vehicle, could go through a window. Worst case scenario, it hits somebody, it hurts them. Can be pretty dangerous. So the better way to do it is to mount the pin in the vise and then you can heat your bracket. Grab a hold of this side, start turning it, loosening it off. So I'm going to get the torch here. And we'll get some heat into this thing. Just like that, we got that extracted out of there. Didn't break it off. Now we can clean this up. I usually like to try to sandblast it the best I can. Sometimes I'll use a drill bit that's just slightly undersized just to get the rust out of it. Be real gentle with it. And also there's little brushes that you can get for your drill that have you can either get steel or different metals, just like a bristle brush. Run it down with the drill, try to clean up that bore the best you can, and clean the pin up. Sometimes I'll give these pins a good look over and make sure. Usually it's a good idea to replace them, seeing as it's got hot, and also it's probably gone through a lot of stress just being seized in there, right? So give it a good look over, make sure it's not bent, there's no stress marks or fractures or anything like that. And once we get her cleaned up, should be good to go back into service. Alright, so I just want to show you another thing here. New rubbers. So I'm going to be putting some new rubber on here. I was saying before that, you know, the rubber gets compromised, it tears, and then moisture gets in and seizes the pin. Also, rust will build up around this lip here. You can see that lip. That's where the inside of the seal is going to sit, right? So when it's on there, nice and sealed. But when the rust gets in, starts to spread it out, opens it up, moisture gets in, and then it's just a matter of time before it's game over. So make sure that you clean that groove in there, especially. This applies to pretty much all vehicles that run this this style with slider pins. And yeah, this was the brush that I was talking about that goes onto your drill. Works great for cleaning out these bores. Fits in there good. Put a drill on there, clean it up real nice. And I was also just running a drill bit just to get all that crap out of there. You got dried up lube that's in there, maybe some media from the sandblasting cabinet. So get in there, clean it up real nice, hit it with some brake clean. Use the air gun, blow it out, get it all nice and clean. And then make sure that you use, like I say, you want a silicone based lubricant. Something for the slider pins that's not going to swell the rubbers. Especially, guys, those pins that run the rubber dampers. You know, the little the circular ones that slide on the end of the pin to keep them from rattling. Those things swell up and then it just jams up the pin. Next thing you know, you got one brake pad that's wearing off and the other one's still 10 mil thickness. So yeah, just thought I'd show you guys that.